Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Brian. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Not bad. I just resized your face, so now you're appropriate. You don't look like a potato anymore. Everything is good.
Yes, I feel so much better.
So, hello, everyone. My name is Joyce. I'm in developer relations over at Postman, and we have a special guest today. Brian, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Brian Douglas. I am B-Dougie on the internet, or B-Dougie-O on Twitch. And I'm a developer advocate here at GitHub, focused on a lot of open source maintainer happiness, as well as some GitHub Actions, Codespaces. This is kind of just know how features work around here.
And I apologize. My dog is barking up a storm behind me right now. But Brian, you and I have actually met several times, but I'm very nondescript and non-memorable in person. So I feel like you're well known in the Jamstack space. Is that right?
Yeah, I am known. I'm not sure about well known, but I run a podcast called Jamstack Radio. I used to work for this small company called Netlify, and worked there as well as a very small startup, and worked there as one of the first front-end engineers at that company, employee number 3, and started a podcast while I was there. And people know me from trying to get people to stop running servers, which ironically we're going to run a server today.
Well, I think we actually are going to be running a ton of things. There's a lot of new tools that I have never worked with, so hopefully you can talk me through that. But let's get started, since we have a ton to talk about. Let's get started, and let me go ahead and resize your face again. Got ISP issues going on. So we start with the section that we like to call In Case You Missed It. And then we go straight to sharing my screen. So, In Case You Missed It is a very short segment at the very beginning of our streams where we go over new stuff that's happening in Postman. And there is something that is so new that I don't even think it might be in the docs. It might not be. It's brand new. I just learned about it. It's called, so I'm not sure how familiar you are with Postman, but I'm just pulling up Postman the app. I have this sample collection that we worked with in the past. This is the big list of naughty strings for pen testing or like just kind of poking around. And if we go ahead and create, you can see by the double curly braces, this is actually a variable that is unresolved. So if I were to go ahead and say I want to type in, do you do a lot of front-end testing where you try to like put something in a form and to try to break things?
Do I do that? I wish I did more testing, but I definitely written that test.
A test?
Yes.
I know DropDB, there's like a lot of like SQL injections that you can do, but say like I wanted to like enter this in, but I wanted to turn it into a variable. This little pop-up, you can set variables all sorts of ways, but this little pop-up is what's new. And so you can either like encode it, decode it, but you can also set a variable. And let's go ahead, you can search if you have a new one, an existing one, or you can go ahead and set something called, let's call it naughty, and have a value of db. So you can probably do an environment because we already have it and we set it, and now we have this variable, and it's pretty much the same thing except with this little right click. I think it's pretty slick. It's a way to set variables within that little right click. So that's all we have for In Case You Missed It. Do you sing, Brian?
I am known to whistle, actually.
Can you whistle in case you missed it? That is pretty good. I never learned to whistle. I just kind of spit on my lip here. So we're back in side-to-side mode. I am actually wearing my favorite GitHub shirt. Can you see the
Oh, it's the reverse one?
Octocat. It's my favorite GitHub shirt. Oh, what are we doing today? What is, you have so many projects going on. You showed me all these different ideas. They all look really fun. What are we going to focus on today?
Yeah, so I think you had reached out, and I had couple ideas, and some of them are GitHub ideas, but this one is less of a GitHub idea, but kind of. I do a lot of Twitch streaming myself, and I got very jealous of people like Jason Langsdorff and other folks who have really cool chat integrations. and I wanted to build it myself. And I did, but I built it very simple because I wanted to build on top of that. So we're going to be building a not even chat integration, a Twitch integration that displays content on the screen whenever someone stars a repo, I guess. Kind of low effort, sort of like a building block to do some other like amazing things.
I was also on Jason's live stream and so inspired. He has really built a good community. And I remember like during the live stream, his users would like maybe type in a Twitch command or do something like maybe subscribe. I don't actually know the Twitch universe, but he would have like corgis parading across the screen.
Yes.
And I was like, it's actually quite distracting during during a live stream. If you and I are talking and all of a sudden like a Postman like blasts off behind my head and has some audio, I think it would be like unexpected. But is that what we're doing today? We're going to basically build the equivalent of a corgi parade?
We're not going to get that intense, no. But if you wanted to create a parade, you could. My coding style is very much like I will do what I know first, and then I will Google and Stack Overflow the rest. So getting a animated corgi parade, I think I would have to copy and paste that thing. But we can get a GIF on the screen though. So if you want to find your favorite GIF or GIF or good GIF, whatever you want to call it, then we can present that on the screen when someone starts a repo.
I do have a reserved GIF just in case we can get it to work, and I call it GIF. Welcome to the chat.
Okay,
welcome
excellent.
To the chat. Hello, Rajiv. Go ahead and let us know if you call it GIF or GIF. I don't know how you're going to say in the chat unless you link to an audio.
You got to phonetically spell it.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? Are we going to go to a repo? Are we going to break out our IDE? What's happening?
Yeah, so I think the first thing we could do is we can talk about, actually, if we want, can we show Baybot real quick? Because I just want to talk through so that way people have context of how I sort of built Jason's like GIF monster. So yeah, we had that in the tab. So I wrote a blog post, which is linked here in Baybot. I guess context, open source is a side project that I work on, and I just throw a bunch of stuff in that org.
Should we go to open
for whatever
source?
reason? But I guess we can go to open source. But yeah, it's a project that I built, the actual open source to manage your next open source contribution. I know Hacktoberfest started today, and it's like a wonderful event to sort of get your sort of feet wet with open source. So I guess what I'm getting at is that with open source, it's a dashboard where you can actually store repos to save for later to work on, as well as track some issues. And you do it off the GitHub platform mainly because my biggest concern was like spamming folks of like, hey, I want to work on this, but I don't have time today. I'm just going to say myself that I want to do this. But yeah, so there's that.
So you have Slaybot. We had Baybot, right? We're looking for Baybot.
Yeah, so Baybot is my first iteration of trying to get that Twitch integration working. And then when you're talking about the corgi bot or the corgi parade, that's what I do with this. So what's cool about this, if you actually, we didn't talk about doing this, but you could actually fork this and you'll have a Baybot running once you fork it.
Should I fork it? What are we doing today? We have too many ideas, too many projects that we could possibly go down.
We do have too many ideas. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to connect this without forking it, but just use your imagination. Let's not fork this. Let's actually save that for the end because if we do have time, we could actually show how this works. But for now, let's just go to Git Twitch. Because Git Twitch is my...
I can code, so that's risky if we just start off with Slaybot. So now we're here at Git Twitch. I actually forked it from your bdougie/Git Twitch.
Excellent. Yeah, so the way we can operate that, and then the very helpful README. If you go into the index.js, what we're doing here is we have a WebSocket that we're going to connect to a repo. So that way, every time someone actually stars a repo, the webhook will fire and do something in the browser. And if those who don't know about OBS and how it works, all those animations on the screen and like the interactions, even with like Stream Elements and Stream. It is Streamlabs. Yeah, Streamlabs is the other one. Anyway, those bot integration tools, they use browser sources, so you can get your chat on the screen. Actually, I don't have the actual the live stream up, but I'm not sure if the chat is on the screen or not. But all that stuff is actually embedded through a browser stores. Even with tools like
so I actually have Streamlabs open.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is this is your little face in here. And so what you're saying, like what I would do is right here I have like my sources. I would add a new source that's like that's basically outputting what sent to the payload that's sent to the webhook.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you added a browser source, which you could do that, we can do that now or we can do it later. But we can add a browser source that points to a GitHub page or through localhost or whatnot. But just by adding that page into the browser source, that's how you get the sort of appearance of something happening.
So I create a static web page on localhost or on GitHub pages of the corgi parade, and then I place that box over this box, and then you see the corgis jumping across.
Yep.
It's
that
tricky.
is as simple as it gets.
You're like, it's so simple. And I'm like, I never realized that that's how they did it, but that makes sense. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't realize how they did it either until I dug in and asked a lot of questions. A lot of this is just not, it's not intuitive unless you know what you're doing. And the other issue I find with live streaming code is that a lot of people do this, but what they'll do is they'll explain it in a 4-hour stream. And I never had 4 hours to sit and watch someone rebuild this if I wasn't there the first time. So I had to sort of reverse engineer and copy and paste code from other repos and like watch clips of streams to sort of digest how that works.
So are we going to jam like 4 hours of coding into like the time that we have left?
Hopefully. But I just sent over into the the Skype chat of my Baybot. That's actually running live. So if you actually just pulled out so this is running on a GitHub page. And I guess, to be honest, it'd be good to sort of give context to by this showing
so it's
this.
Blank web page.
So it's a blank web page. And what I'm going to do is actually type in my chat on Twitch. What I'm just going to say pizza. And it didn't work. Oh, you know what it is? I spelled my name wrong. Of course I did. You can't actually see anything I'm doing, but I will send the pizza again. And then I sent the pizza party. So this is what would show up on the screen if I had this on my stream going live right now.
This is like a hosted page at GitHub Pages. I've only done that once before, but it's pretty easy. It's like you click it and it's like launched. And then you typed in pizza into the Twitch chat of your Twitch channel, and then it just kind of showed up here. Okay, that makes sense.
So that's the bare bones. That's what Baybot is. It's just the bare bones of this getting that chat integration to happen, and it's built on top of something called Comfy.js, which is built by another live coder, InstaFluff. And yeah, you'll find if anybody goes down the rabbit hole of like watching these live streams. I'm sure if you're here on Twitch at least. I'm not sure about actually there's a lot of YouTubers who live code as well. But yeah, once you go down the rabbit hole, they'll start teaching you how this works, and then you'll be incepted.
Okay, so how is Baybot different than GitTwitch?
Yeah, so GitTwitch, so Baybot only integrates with Twitch's chat, so my Twitch chat. GitTwitch, it actually is going to integrate with a random repo of your choosing. And the way we choose that is through a webhook. So real quick, if you go back to the Baybot and go to the index or the config.js. Oh, I realized actually it's in the index.js. I have a newer version. My version actually has a config file.
Okay.
But on the top, you'll see my handle. So if you scroll down a little bit. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Sorry, the screen's a little small for me. I should probably make this bigger. There we go. Now I can see perfectly. But yeah, line 2, that's my name. So if you replace that with Git Postman, every time a chat is typed in on Git Postman, and this is specifically for Twitch, mainly because that's just the inertia that I have going on right now. But you could easily set this up with the YouTube streaming API. Well, easy as a stretch. YouTube API is a little different and might be a little more difficult.
But what do they have to type in?
I'll leave that for the... Oh yeah, so these are my flags here. So if you scroll down to just below there, you'll see pizza. So on line 38, that's what I typed in.
Okay, so if I just forked if I cloned this repo and then ran it and then changed this to like, what's the name of this stream? Get Postman. And then if I change this to like, like something creative, like, like Galaxy or something, every time somebody types into the Twitch chat Galaxy, then the pizza GIF will come up. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
That's essentially what it's. Well, actually, real quick, the only thing that line 38, I actually have a flag for the broadcaster. So technically only Get Postman can type it. So you'd have to remove that. So that's the caveat. So if you replace the one above it, the welcome one, then that would work, hypothetically. It's just that I happen to have a flag that only I can dish out the pizza.
Yeah, and in fact, I wouldn't want somebody to take over the entire stream with like a pizza party and like constantly. That could be real trouble.
Yeah.
But in this case, if I put Galaxy here or like just welcome in general, then I could have something happen. So the difference between Baybot and Get Twitch is just the trigger. One is Baybot is specifically for Twitch chat, and then Get Twitch is going to be driven from GitHub repo watcher.
Yeah, so there's webhooks on GitHub repos. So like if you, I mentioned Netlify. So every time you push up to Netlify, push to GitHub, Netlify can deploy a new branch for you and put that in production or staging or whatnot. A lot of other integrations like your CI, like your Travis or your Circle, will also use webhooks to trigger CI builds. So what I'm just doing is taking that same sort of technology, which is or the feature of webhook, and applying it to my live streaming. So that way, if I encourage people to say, hey, go to do something on this repo or open up an issue or, create a fork, I want to actually celebrate that while I'm streaming if it happens. So that was a whole...
Let me look at that because I haven't looked at that before. So I was worried about revealing secrets because we do it every time. But if I reveal Postman organization secrets, I will get fired. So this is, I created not a junk, but like a test repo called Sparkles. And if I go to where do I see those? Is it which?
So you can just go to the settings. Yeah, so this is an empty repo. There's no code in here, but you could still have access to all the features of a repo if it had code. And on the left, you can see the webhooks.
Okay. And I have none.
And then you have no webhooks. Yeah, because it seems to be a brand new repo. So we can add this webhook. And this is where all the magic happens. So here, the first thing we need to do is actually change it to JSON because I don't even know what www form unencoded is. But everything I want is going to be JSON. And that's what I'm going to consume in the JavaScript that I write. So now this is going to give you just push events. So every time you push to this repo, to whatever branch, it's going to fire a webhook for you. This is like the base of what everybody does. So like your CI providers, your CD providers, like all that stuff uses that push event. But we're going to do something different, which is select an individual event.
This one?
And obviously you can send everything if you wanted, which is great for chat integrations. If you wanted to like set up a Slack or a Discord, you can send all notifications to like a noisy channel.
Okay. Noisy channel, I like
and
that.
And then by default... Yeah, I do. I actually do this a lot, especially when I first start a new project and I'm doing a lot of testing and I just need to like see stuff happen, but also like I want my team members to be aware that stuff's happening. I'll just set up a noisy channel in Slack and then connect it. Technically, you don't have to do a webhook for that because we have a GitHub app, a Slack app, an official one that does this for you. But for things like Discord, which doesn't have an official app, you can create a noisy channel in Discord.
Yeah, it just kind of echoes it over to a different channel. Okay.
Yeah. And I like it because for like this reason, stars, like if someone stars my repo or forks it, I know I might get a contribution soon. So maybe I can like hang around during the weekend and like wait for them to open the PR. If not, I can. Anyway, I do a lot of stalking in my project. But
that's nice that you have such rich projects that people are contributing because mine are like crickets. I put something out there and then like I'm like, ooh, I got a star or something like happens and it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, well, I would say my streaming, you can uncheck pushes because we don't need that. But I was going to say my streaming has actually encouraged more contributions because I do a lot of my work, because I do DevRel for my day job. I don't have a lot of long-standing projects. Like a lot of my projects are like, hey, try this thing out or try this feature, and then when we figure it out, like that project's gonna die. So like, there's no one really
no one's
looking for my
maintaining
code.
it, yeah.
But exactly. But if I could share what I've worked on and like things like Get Twitch and people are happy about it and excited about it, then I have reason to continue to work on it and like get my developer skill set like not dying.
Hello, unknown listener. Welcome. We are just working on setting up a webhook for this example repository. So like what I really want to do, like ultimately, I don't want to do this now because I'm going to reveal a secret and then people will fire me. But this is the Postman org, Postman Labs, and we have a bunch of open source repositories as well that like clearly like the runtime for the Postman app, very popular. But Newman is it's actually got more stars than the Post. Oh, this is just the support. We manage our GitHub issues here. It's not the actual runtime. That's a separate one. But Newman is our open source command line runner, and I want to like. There's a lot of activity on here, so I want to be notified when somebody like stars something, because if I set something like this up for one of my developer relations projects, like it's going to be crickets and the pizza party will never come. But if it's something like Newman, then I think that would be really neat to set up for the live stream, like ongoing.
Yeah, and we could do that with Get Twitch. So I think what we could probably do is. Now, we had talked about doing Codespaces, and I think we'll probably want to do this locally, just for the sake of simplicity. Getting we just have two servers running at the same time, and I don't know if you can do two tabs in the terminal and code inside of VS Code. You might know more than that. I don't know VS Code very well, so
you can open a separate window in VS Code. Hi, finite singularity.
What's this?
Welcome.
Yes. Welcome. I know finance singularity. I also know unknown listener too as well. I told people I'm doing this, so they're stopping through.
Welcome to this part of the neighborhood. So I like how you thought that I might know VS Code better than you, but I'm fine using Codespaces even though I've never used that as well.
Okay, let's just do it.
What do we do? Let me close this because otherwise I'm going to reveal something that I will regret. Yeah,
so if you go to Get Twitch in your fork.
Okay, this is mine.
Now, Codespaces is you can. So Jason's saying that you can have two terminals in VS Code. So Jason, you could coach us through it if we sort of stumble through it. But so go to Get Twitch and open up a Codespace. And Codespace is a hosted version of VS Code that connects directly to your GitHub repo. So for instances where you want to work on a project that's open source, but you don't have like maybe dependencies, as we found, the Smee client wasn't installed when we were testing this earlier. So as a dependency of the maintainer, you can actually set those up for people so they don't have to like do all that on their own. I learned this firsthand when I went to contribute to a Go project a couple weeks ago, and I did not have the latest version of Go, and I like brain farted on how to update my Go version. It's like, I don't know if you have to download the client or you have to brew install it on Homebrew or whatever. But I just opened up a Codespace, ran the test, and it worked. And then I opened my PR, and that's the beauty of it.
All right, let's get to Codespaces. Should I go back out of this?
Yeah, so go to the main
fork.
I don't know, what do you call this? The dashboard, the entry point of your repo.
That sounds good.
I know I should know what this is called, but yeah, your homepage of your repo.
Oh my gosh, it looks like there's people are chiming in on the chat. Thank you so much. But somebody's saying that the YouTube stream is not running. Oi, that's not good. If anybody from Postman's watching, if you can help me, or anybody knows what to do to get that one running, we can get YouTube, because I feel like there's a lot of people that chime in on YouTube and they're probably just crickets.
Well, Twitch is where all the cool kids are.
Theoretically, we're streaming on YouTube too. And actually, Postman gets a good number of viewers from YouTube as well. So we're at the entry point of this repo.
Yeah, if you go to the green button, so this is where we've played around with the UI of this a lot. This used to always be not in a dropdown, but here you can actually clone the repo. So here you have your SSH right there. You can also go to GitHub Desktop or get a zip. But the new feature that you have is Codespaces, and you can actually open up this repo in a CodeSpace environment within the
Wait, what's
browser,
GitHub CLI?
which is great. Oh, GitHub CLI, it launched 1.0 actually 2 weeks ago. So we have the Git CLI, which you like the Git add, the Git commit, the Git push. Like that's what most people sort of learn coming out of boot camp or college, or your new job. GitHub CLI is that, but GitHub. So you're able to open up repos, clone repos using the CLI. Which we can talk about all the GitHub features today if you
there's
want.
too
But
many tools.
yeah, it's up to you.
Okay, let's just go back and use open with Codespaces.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Okay. New Codespace.
And then, yep, new Codespace. What's cool is too as well. This is a fork of the Git Twitch, so you literally haven't done anything. You haven't cloned the repo. Like you just forked it. You have the code in your domain, or you're under your org. I guess not your org, under your account domain.
Yeah.
And then now we're gonna, So now we're gonna initialize the code. This does take some time. Hopefully this will get faster, but like it does have to go up to space and back, and inside of a Docker container. Actually, technically it's a VM.
So you asked me to sign up for this. This is a beta. Like somebody has to accept you.
Yes. So you could actually sign up for the beta, and you'll be at the end of the wait list. We're hoping to launch this publicly for folks, so you don't have to be in the beta soon-ish. I can't put a date on it because of reasons. But yeah, we're hoping to open up to the public.
Wait, this looks just like my IDE,
We just need to
except
get
in
more
my
feedback.
web.
Yes, that's exactly what this is. This is VS Code. So VS Code actually shipped a browser version called VS Codespaces, I believe. And I think because we have so many friends at Microsoft at GitHub, they ended up helping us out in getting this launched to work directly with repos.
So do I want Microsoft to collect my usage data? Should I opt out?
It depends. They might already have it, but yeah, you can opt out. I always opt out.
Unknown listener.
Yeah, I personally always opt out.
Okay, so apparently this is not just new to me. It's new to a bunch of other people too. Codespaces, you guys called in a favor with VS Code team, and so this looks suspiciously similar like VS Code because it's Codespaces.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it is, it's basically VS Code. So I think when we launched this earlier in May of this year, a lot of people were sort of like, oh man, this is just like VS Codespaces. And we said, yes, you're right. You're 100% correct.
Okay, sorry. Why did it go here? I'm trying to opt out of the privacy notification, but I'm going to derail us. Okay, so we're on your brilliant README.
Yeah, so, the README is amazing. PRs are welcome. So this, if you go into the index.js, and actually Jason's here. Jason actually did a PR to help clean up this file for me a bit.
Are you doxing somebody?
This, I am not doxing somebody. Jason's actually in the Twitch chat. Anyway, what I was getting at is, and I realize, actually it should be fine. We didn't set up a secret for our webhook. Actually, we didn't set up a webhook, did we? Did we ever hit save?
We
haven't
unselected
done it yet.
pushes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, before we go that far, we should probably set up a secret for our webhook. It really could be anything. I always just type in my. Well, I'm going to say it out loud. I've been hiding it for a secret, but I usually type in my secret, especially when I'm streaming because it's usually throwaway stuff. But you can type anything profound here, and folks at home, if they really want to pen test this, they can actually grab your webhook and watch all events from their own machines at home.
But this is a secret only for this webhook, only for this demo repo, not for anything else. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it's low stakes here.
So what do you normally type here, Brian?
But I usually type in my secret.
Oh, the word my secret. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually have a terrible.
Otherwise, I'll generate
a
token.
That because I don't remember, and so I'll remember it's the same as yours. Okay, so I have a secret. I don't have a payload yet, and I'm going to select individual events to trigger this webhook.
Yep. Yeah, so here you'll hit
Stars.
stars because we're just going to do it on some low
Low
stake stuff.
stakes. Stars are amazing. Okay.
Oh yeah, stars are amazing. They're high stakes. The best feature of GitHub.
Add webhook.
All
Wait,
GitHub employees make sure to
we need the
mention me.
payload URL.
Oh, we'll need to have a webhook. Yeah, so we need to actually be able to receive these, and this is only for the purpose of local um, environment. Um, honestly, I don't know what this is going to be. I think it's going to be localhost 3000 because that's the way it's set up. I haven't run this in a code space yet, but before you do that, what you need to do is we need a Smee. So this is where Smee comes in. Because localhost can't actually receive and transmit that payload, we'll need to check out Smee.io. So this tool was built by GitHub employees just for the sake of teaching people how to use webhooks. So it's like you could definitely run production stuff on it if you want, but just understand that this was literally created for folks to basically do this, like live stream and receive webhooks.
So we've had a live stream before where I think we use ngrok. I think we've done two live streams where we use ngrok, and there's also a very undocumented secret way to use webhooks with Postman. We've done that a couple times too. So let's learn this new way. It's at Smee.
Yeah, smee.io.
Webhook payload delivery service. Okay.
Yes. And if you hit start a new channel, yeah, it's got like, so the creator of Smee is also the creator of Probot, and Probot is a way to do GitHub apps integrations. So you want to build your own version of Netlify, or if you want to build integrations in the Postman from GitHub, or if you want to build, the better use of this would be if I built my Git Twitch as a GitHub integration, a proper one, I would use Smee and then use Probot to build that integration. So that's what the docs, they're going to be in the context that you're probably building a hardcore integration with GitHub, and you just need to test it out.
So many tools. So many tools that I don't know. It makes me jealous that this stream is so short that we can't explore them all.
Yeah, and I'm happy to come back and we can. I do plan on writing a blog post on this. I also mentioned I was going to do that, and then Hacktoberfest took over my life for reasons, and but this is everything we need to know. We just need to make sure that Smee's installed on the GitHub Codespace environment, and then we'll need to run that Smee command, and that is pretty much all we need.
Okay, so install this in Codespaces?
Yes.
So here, can I close the open source?
Yes, go for it.
Okay,
goodbye.
This one, where was this one?
It should be the first one.
So this terminal in VS Code, this terminal is, I thought, the same as my local terminal. Is this Codespaces like a cloud?
Nah, this is going to be clouded. It's a hosted environment.
So just npm install here?
Yep.
Did I not paste?
It's just saying that you're going to copy and paste from another place. It's just warning you.
Installing Smee
Be careful.
Client. That's so neat that somebody at GitHub created this. I feel like there's a lot of tooling that Postman could develop, like these open source projects. Is Smee open sourced?
It probably is. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I've honestly never. I probably even committed to it. I can't even remember. But
okay, so this is my webhook proxy URL, so I can just go ahead and invoke it or spin it up.
Yes, you can go ahead and spin it up, and then once you spin that up, you'll want to also take that URL and bring it back to your webhook that you created. And to answer your question, Smee, yes. So that will be our payload URL. And then Smee is open sourced. It's actually under the Probot org.
Every time you say Probot, so I think you're saying probiotic. Okay, so this is the tunneling that's happening. Actually, this is not.
Yep. Yeah, so we don't actually have to open up that in the browser. We can just leave that as is.
So I'll just close that. And it's running.
Yeah, and then they said we could open up a new tab, so I think that plus sign is opens up a new tab, I think, because we're going to need to run a whole nother terminal.
Terminal.
Yes,
Okay,
that
so
is.
second one.
Yep. And this will be npm and start, and then npm. No, npm install and then npm start.
npm
Because we
okay,
haven't
so
actually.
this is the current git twitch. Hey, hold on. Do I need to? I have this on my clipboard, and I have a very short-term memory. Do I need to paste the Smee thing here?
Oh yeah. Go ahead and paste that there. Yep. And then we can actually create our webhook now that we have all our pieces
Okay,
together.
so stars we're going to be watching for. Add a webhook to Sparkle's repo, and now we have that thing, and then this. Where am I?
Yep.
Going back to my Codespaces. I need to install everything.
And I'm on the fence if you needed to or not. I'm not sure if they already did that because I see the no modules folder that was already existing up there, but it doesn't look like it did. Yeah, honestly, I think they were already installed. That's what the time that it took. So like, remember, I was kind of talking through the container being set up. It actually installed the modules for you without you needing. So like, you literally can just open up a code space and start doing stuff and running servers without the need of waiting to install.
So is it npm run start or npm what?
Npm start. And I see Jason saying if you click the button to the right plus, you can see them side by side. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, Jason.
You know, I saved a. Yeah, this is great.
Oh no.
But where did our Smee terminal go?
Yeah. What? Was I supposed to do that here?
I think so, but the thing is that should have worked. Oh, you know what it is? We haven't set up our env file. So we set up my secret, and the way the OctaKit. So real quick on line 6, we're actually using OctaKit to basically receive that webhook. This was something I didn't even explain to you even our run up, but OctaKit is like a SDK for GitHub's API. Our mascot is OctaCat.
That's what
so
this
the OctaKit is our
OctaCat.
SDK kit. Yes. Nice. But because we're using this specific SDK, it's looking for the env file, which you can see the env example. We'll need to set that to my secret.
Should I just
so it's nice to have
duplicate this?
You could duplicate it, I think.
How do you do that from here? I usually do it from command line. Can I CP?
Yeah, you can actually just do you can do CP there.
To .env? Will it read from .env?
Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should work that way. I think so. There you go. This got set up. And then now you can just type in my secret there.
Is it string or is it just like that?
Yeah, just straight up. It should interpolate from the environment file. Yeah, so now if you run npm start, it won't complain anymore.
Should I do it on the left side?
I don't know. Listeners, what do you think?
I'm so confused.
Thumbs up,
like,
I'm just
this
kidding.
is a brand new tool, although it looks suspiciously familiar. I didn't realize you could do side by side with a terminal. That's pretty sweet. That's really sweet, actually. I hate, like, transitioning.
News for me.
All right, I'll just start it.
Yeah, it honestly.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I've been using VS Code purposely, so now we have the localhost running, which is beautiful. But I've been using VS Code purposely because I want to get better at VS Codespaces or Codespaces, GitHub Codespaces. I should really get these names down, but yeah, I just need to. I'm doing a lot of like content and stuff like that around this, so it's helpful to know. These little cool things.
VS Code Codespaces is an Electron app, or is it just web-based?
It's web-based. Yeah, so it's all based on the web, which kind of unleashes a lot of cool things. Like GitHub, this is our use case, but if you had a use case and wanted to embed VS Code in the browser, like it is open sourced. So I've actually seen a couple cool use cases I can't talk about yet because I've seen the early prototypes. But people are really extending and making VS Code into like really cool like one-off tools. So like you want to sort of Imagine like SSHing into like different containers and stuff like that, but having that for every context of code in different projects and
Yeah,
environment, which
Postman
is
is
pretty
going
cool.
through something similar where Postman, the desktop app, is at its core an Electron app, but we have, oh shoot, I'm gonna forget the. Okay, oof, oof. Oh no, yes, yes, yes. So Postman, the Electron app, we're moving a bunch of that functionality over to the web. So if you look, I'm still in the same browser, but look, it's like Postman in the Electron app, and that also unleashes a lot of new functionality. So I feel like it's like the cool thing to do right now. All right, NPM
Yeah.
started. I have this running. I'm going to go back over to GitHub Codespaces.
Yeah, so we have npm up. We have Smee running in another tab because we didn't do the side by side. Um, and now I think at this point we could open up the original VS Codespaces has the ability to host your own instance in your own server. Do you know if GitHub? I have no idea if. Sorry, I'm reading the. I saw that come through on Twitch, and the question: do you know if GitHub has plans to keep that functionality? Um, Honestly, I have no idea because I wasn't sure about that. But we will. I mean, we do have GitHub Enterprise runs on your own server, so I assume that we would. It'd be advantageous for us to make that work as well, either hosted or self-hosted. But yeah, I don't actually know. And if it does show up, it'd show up on a public roadmap too as well, which is github.com/github/roadmap.
Let's see it. Slash what?
So GitHub. So GitHub uses GitHub to build GitHub slash
I feel
roadmap.
like I've been there before because it's in my pre-populated.
Oh yeah, you probably clicked on a tweet or something. So if you search for the word code spaces, maybe we can see if they're where the roadmap is.
Uh,
You can actually filter a card in that little search box down there too as well. So this is GitHub projects. If anybody is unfamiliar with this, so there we go. Codespaces general availability sometime between October, which is today, and December.
oh, that's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think we actually have. If you scroll to the right, I don't think we actually have it set for GitHub Enterprise yet.
Here?
Um, I think we're just. Yeah, if you close that, yeah. So future is going to be the column of stuff that we have on the list that we don't have a date for yet. So yeah, I would check out that future column like every quarter, and see if your
This
feature
is a
shows
pretty
up.
sweet roadmap.
Yeah, it's pretty ambitious, so I would say.
I feel like I'm getting distracted by all the stuff that I'm learning right now. So okay, what are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, so we finally got everything running on localhost. So I think the step right now is just open up localhost 3000 onto a tab. Um, so now and then we can sort of see sparkles come through.
Which is nothing right now. What?
All right. All right, no whammies. All right, so I think if you go back to the npm start, you might have to do 0.0.0. Nope, that actually worked. Well, that is new for me. Can you
Wait, so
go
I have nothing in
into
this repo. Nothing is working. It's an empty repo.
but it does have in the public folder. There is an index.html. So we did get some pre-populated text content on the page that should have worked.
I see. Okay. Localhost is referencing her machine and not the CodeSpace VM.
Oh,
How do I point it to the CodeSpace VM?
can you change? Oh, if it's not the CodeSpace VM, you know what? Maybe this might not work unless we want to open up the docs and figure out where localhost, where this port is actually pointing to. Because my assumption is that, well, I guess I'm used to, there's another tool called Code Sandbox, which actually does point to your local machine. I guess it
Do you feel
infers it,
lucky?
but perhaps do I feel lucky? Can you go to the documentation for
Sure.
Codespaces real quick? Actually, you know what? I can also type it over here. I have a whole browser at my fingertips.
What am I looking for? Maybe try that URL in the
I'm looking
browser
for
and put port 3000. Which you?
for Codespaces. If you go to the Codespaces tab and then grab that, loop delicious get twitch.github.dev, and then add port 3000 on that. So in the current Omnibar for Chrome.
Oh, this thing. Omnibar.
Yeah, so grab that. Yeah, is that not
I
what the
don't
kids are
know.
calling
I
it
feel
these
like
days?
so the hip kids. Okay. So instead of
Yeah,
localhost, still port
yeah.
3000?
Instead of localhost, yes,
Like that?
yes. Hypothetically, that would work.
Connecting. You have such knowledgeable followers or viewers. I don't know what you call people that watch Twitchers. Chatters.
Chatters?
Oh. Timed out.
Yeah. Otherwise, we could bail. We could bail on this and just do it actually do it in a local terminal. Um, yeah, because I don't. This is the extent of my what am I doing with VS Code knowledge.
Do you want to switch over to local terminal?
Yeah, I think so. There's a note in actually let me throw this in the this is a documentation that I just found on port forwarding. It's actually saying we can go to 127.0.0.1, which might make sense.
Localhost. This one?
Yeah. Yeah, see if that works.
Isn't that the same thing?
It is.
No.
But, sometimes
Okay,
you gotta
let's
try
keep
everything.
looking.
Okay,
No?
that's not working.
Port forwarding.
No, I mean, my thought would have been that should work. But again, this is the extent of my VS Code knowledge.
If anybody knows VS Code spaces or basic port forwarding, every time somebody says port forwarding.
Yeah, so I did notice early errors in trying to get actual local environments working in like Gatsby environments, because Gatsby does a lot of work for you in static site generation. So even like getting Gatsby dev working was challenging, but that was back in May. My assumption is that that was fixed and it was
Yeah.
obvious. But yeah, I'll have to check up on that. But we are in beta. We're actually in alpha right now. We'll be moving in proper beta or private beta right now. So hopefully I can give this information back to the team to make this a little more clear in how this port is actually being served. But for now, let's actually bail on this and do a clone. And then we can actually copy. I think everything we need is here except this secret. So we sort of walk through and we can do this in localhost where I know
sounds
works.
good. If anybody has ideas for how we can troubleshoot this in the cloud, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to switch to local terminal where I have nothing.
Yes.
Do I need
Works
to like
on-
clone this here?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you go to the it might be opportunity to show off the GitHub CLI because it'll be pretty fast.
Okay.
But, and I know
Should
that
I
won't
just go
break.
back? Will I lose this?
Yeah. It will actually stay. So your state will actually suspend, I think, up to like somewhere between 30 minutes and 3 hours. I actually kind of forgot what the limit is, but it will actually pause the environment. And then after like a week or two, it'll actually shut it down.
So you're not wasting anything.
Yeah. So you're not spending
So
processing
I'm back
minutes.
on Git Twitch.
But if you go down to so you click on the GitHub CLI one, you can copy that.
Here?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, but you won't have the GitHub CLI installed. So you'll need to install it,
I
which will
see
take
your
a second.
trick. Do I have to install it
Um,
globally?
and you're
I'm
on
on
Windows.
but this is a bash terminal.
Yeah, so the instructions are actually Mac instructions. So if you go to cli.github.com, the instructions on mine are Mac because I'm on a Mac. But if you go on your Windows machine, it'll tell you what instructions.
To download.
Yeah, just click the download.
How come we're not
Windows
just
button.
cloning it?
Cloning the CLI.
No, cloning the.
We could just do that. Oh, the repo. Oh yeah, let's just do that.
If you don't.
The actual CLI gives you some extra functionality that we're not going to use, so we can actually just skip this.
Okay, it's kind of neat though. I kind of want to learn all the things, but I'm also keeping an eye on the time.
Yes, we definitely have gone a lot of time without showing any success on the screen.
Okay, so
other than
Git
npm
Twitch,
install.
I'm going back to SSH.
So
I'll copy this to my clipboard, and I'm going to go ahead and git clone this thing. Okay.
Yep.
And now I'm going to cd into
and then
Git Twitch.
Yep. And this you'll need to npm install.
All the locals. Oh,
yep.
Okay.
And then you want to cp your env.
Was it dot example?
Dot example, yeah.
Should I do this in VS Code then?
Yes, go for it. That way everything looks exactly familiar. Actually, you have a different UI.
Than you?
I guess your theme. Well, your theme is different than what was in the browser. So we don't have to do this now, but you could do settings sync, and you can actually see the.
Is it here?
What you see here, you can see in the browser. Next time you open up VS Code. Yeah, if you go to your. I think if you do you search your settings and then search for a settings sync.
Here? Command
I just
palette?
did this. Oh, there it is. First one on the bottom. I'll go back to the settings. And then that first one.
Turn on.
So now your settings you can sync them based on your GitHub GitHub login, and then every time you log into VS Code, it will sync your settings.
Sign in and turn on.
Yep.
Authorize? I don't read these very carefully.
Yes, if you're so unlucky.
Success! Do I need to open? What's happening?
I think it just wants you to open it up again, but you technically have it. Oh, there you go. It knows you're opening. Okay, now it's completely turned on. So, staying focused though, we'll do the npm start.
So all I did was save my secret, and now I'm going to go back to my terminal and go npm start. Here.
Yep, and then we'll do in another tab we'll do Smee-u and then the Smee URL.
Can I do that side by side here? No, it's not there.
That is a question for someone who uses Windows.
Okay, sorry. What are we doing here?
Smee-u. Oh, you know what? We don't have the Smee client either, so you have to npm install -g Smee
Okay, I think
client.
I installed it.
This is something we did.
I think
did you?
So.
Okay, so you could probably.
Yes, but I'm in the wrong
good.
repo. Hold on. I need to go to. What was it called? I thought it was Git Twitch.
Git Twitch, yeah.
But
because we're just running the client to a URL, we don't actually have to be in the repo.
Got it. Okay. Good, because I can't find it.
Yeah, and I think you actually cloned it to your root. You actually cloned it to your root structure.
Okay.
Yeah, so clean up for later.
So Smee-u, what was?
And then, yeah, we'll have to go. I definitely didn't know that URL. Yeah, the URL in this in the omnibar.
This one? Oh,
Yeah.
It'll only take like 6 times hearing it before I start using it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to make it a thing.
Bar.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's
Positive
called.
that's what it's
like
called, but
the
I don't
bar you
know.
can search everything in it.
Okay. So here we're Smee is running.
All right. So
the other server is running.
yep. So Smee is receiving the star events, and then localhost is connected to Smee, and that's what's happening right here. So you can actually now you should be able to go to localhost 3000 or 127.0.1 and see it potentially work. There we go.
Okay. So maybe a little bit of a nuance that you need to learn for the GitHub Codespaces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the VS Code. I should probably learn that soon. But yeah, somehow localhost gets attached to some other URL that I'm not sure what it is. But for now, this is what we should have saw. And if you star, actually anybody watching could probably star the repo.
Sparkles?
Yeah, which I think you had it in the chat. You probably have to loop delicious.
Here. Oops, why did I? What? Is it GitHub.com?
The random
delicious
Google resorts.
Sparkles. Okay, so I'll drop this into the chat. Give that a star. Wait, can I star it and have it work? Where did my thing go?
You could start.
Okay, let me drag this over here. Okay. Don't know how to use Windows in Windows.
I think you can drag it to the left.
Shoot,
it'll snap to the side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Windows 10 functionality.
Right.
I think it is. I'm not a Windows person.
I recently, if you couldn't tell. Oh, where'd my stars go? I need to zoom out.
It's in the it's in your
ellipses.
Yeah, I guess you had zoom out. Yeah, the ellipses. There's a name for that. Designers probably know what it's called.
People call it hamburger, but it's definitively not hamburger. Okay, so star it.
The P menu. The P's in the pod. Say if the left you just saw star event received.
Yes. So 2 stars, and then this will just have. Can I unstar? Unstar.
Yeah. So that's also an event.
Star. Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna get rate limited by GitHub.
Do you know what the rate limit is?
Unauth request. I think it's like 80 on that IP on your IP. Once you're auth, I think it's up to 2,000, something like that.
80 and what?
Ask me how I know. Within the hour.
Okay. Just from my IP.
So so as a DevRel person who wants to do their job, I was at a booth and I created a repo, and the goal was to fork the repo and do something, and then once you fork the repo, you're in the list to win a Nintendo Switch. And at Netlify, it was called the Switch to Netlify promotion. Switch for Netlify. So it was at React Rally. So we had like probably 300 people within the first half of the conference, come and do this. But we hit the rate limited within the first break. So after the keynote, everybody knew to go there. Everybody did it. And then we slammed GitHub's API. So we had to call in a favor and ask to be unblocked.
I was going to say, you work there, you can get your rate limits expanded. But
at the time I did not work there.
Got it. Netlify, yeah. Well, we've done that before.
Yeah, but also
done that before with workshops. I think the Twitter API, we had 100 people sitting in a room, and then all of a sudden nobody could submit a request.
Yeah. Very common. So what I've done now, I always have people log in. Or I use GitHub Actions to do it for me, because GitHub Actions will give you way more of a buffer for rate limiting. So if someone triggers an event on a GitHub action, then I can get them in the system for my promotion. But I don't do that anymore. There's low effort ways to do DevRel. Though everybody take that opportunity to do DevRel at booths and stuff like that. But yeah, I've moved on.
Hi, Matavic. How are you? We just finally got our project initially working. I'm going to go ahead and redrop a link to this. If you give this repo a star, we have this oh gosh, how do you even summarize what we've been doing? We have Smee listening, listening for the webhook to send over to a local server that is
Yes.
going to log that start event. And now I want to put my favorite. You have pizza party. I want to put I have a rocket GIF. I asked my designer to create a rocket GIF that has sparkles, which is why the repo is called Sparkles. So how do I get that?
Excellent. Okay, so if you go back to the local VS Code, and you go into our, we'll walk through the code a little bit and how this is working. So at the moment we have a webhook that's doing the listening, and if anybody missed earlier, we set up the webhook manually on Sparkles, the Sparkles org. So
I literally don't know how to switch my tabs. Oh, it's up here. Wait, why is it running?
Yeah. Is this Windows terminal, or is this the default?
It's not the default, which is why it's so weird. I need to open up a new tab. Okay, you think
you should use the Windows terminal. It's a great open source project, and it feels like the Mac terminal.
Where is that repo?
I guess exercise for after the stream. I'm pretty sure you cloned it in the root.
I just looked in my root.
So if you go back up one.
Oh, there it is. You were right. Okay. So do I npm, what was it? Run start? npm start?
This npm start.
iTerm. Hi, Arlemy. Nice of you to make it. Give us a star, and then you can see your event. You can see your event. What's happening? Oh, did I npm I already?
No, you're in Joyce right now. So you're not actually in the Git Twitch. So in some place the Git Twitch exists.
Gosh. Did I npm I already? So I just need to npm start?
Yeah.
I completely forgot why.
Oh, you already have it running. You have it running on the
do something here. Well,
the first tab.
I was going to open the folder.
Oh.
That's all I came back there for.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I doing?
Okay, so the index.js, we didn't really talk through this. It's just all you need to know is that this is where the webhooks are working, and it's also receiving the webhook from GitHub. And because we actually took the Smee URL and put it directly in our webhooks as the payload receiver, Smee is now taking that payload locally in your terminal and then passing it to localhost. So that's exactly all this code that's happening right here. And with beautiful comments.
Yeah, beautiful comments, and you explained that so much more concisely than me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually write most of these comments. Actually, Jason, who was here helping us out with the localhost issue earlier, he actually did the PR with the comments.
Nice.
For I think the majority
comments
of the comments
are always helpful.
So that was super helpful.
Hey.
Yep. Yeah. I would say, that's a cool. Cool emoji.
It looks like Matovic subscribed to our channel, which I thought Arlemy disabled that, but thank you, Matovic. Welcome. All right, so this is the index.js for
Excellent.
The webhook information.
The prime goodies.
Now what?
So go to the public folder now. And in the public folder, what we have here is index.html. Okay, so line 3, the line that says just here sitting listening for some messages, that is actually, this is all index.html. There's no front-end JavaScript library working right now. It's actually being powered by Express.js. So a lot of people tend to lift like a React or a Vue or an Angular to get their job done real quickly. I purposely try to keep things simplistic and not make a decision on frameworks or anything like that, because I want to talk about the webhook and how that is working. And if we spend more time talking about React, then that sort of sidelines the conversation. Sort of like how we did with Smee and VS Code and the GitHub CLI, like all that stuff that I try to avoid and that we did earlier. That's why it's index.html. But all you have to know is that this is if you think of this as the front end, the index.html, and you think of the index.js as your back end, if you keep that sort of context or concept in your head, that's what's happening here. So this is our front end code. It's using a script tag to take that WebSocket, and then it's taking those messages from the WebSocket, which is being received that, again, we already set up, and being able to say star event received. So, and that's code from the back end.
Okay.
So that is the extent of it. And then line 14 is where we're actually, sorry, line 14 is where we're grabbing the container ID on line 4. And then line 15 is where we're just adding the data inside of a list. So that line 15 we don't actually need because that's the same stuff happening on the server. It's just printing it on the front end. This, we could actually take your GIF and add that instead. So probably lowest amount of effort. What we'll want to do is like, we don't want this to be a list anymore. So if you go to line 4 and change it to a div tag, that UL.
Is that even highlighted? Nope. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then line 15, instead of the LI, we're going to do the image with source.
Here?
Yes. And then we could point that to wherever your GIF lives.
Can it be local?
And yeah, it can be local. We could actually just move it into the public folder, which would be the best option.
Now you're about to see me navigate my
and then
local tree. Oh wait, no, I have it here. Oh, I don't know what secrets are in this thing, so I'll drag it. So drag it into the public folder?
Yeah, so if you drag it into your, right. Oh, yeah, there it is. That is excellent. Oh, that's a beautiful.
Can I copy a relative path?
Wow, you have awesome designers. You sure can.
And put it here?
And then, put it right there, and then delete the rest after the ending caret.
My screen's so small.
But you'll want to. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a on Windows. If there's, I use Spectacle to be able to put my windows everywhere I want magically. If someone knows of something on Windows that does the same thing, I'd love to know because I stream. I also stream on Windows, but I do no code on Windows. I actually use my Mac and then put my Mac inside of my Windows, which sounds kind of silly, but yeah, I have a capture card. And that's how I sort of get around it.
told me if I use the Windows key, like if I have focus on this thing, I can like, oh no, that wasn't it. I forget what the command was. Somebody on the stream told me a command to snap it to something. Okay, so we have our rocket GIF. It's the source of this image.
Yep.
Windows Shift Arrow. Hold on, let me try this. Oh gosh, we are running out of time. Hold on. Windows Shift Arrow. Nope, that's not it. Windows Shift. Nope, that's not. Oh, I was pushing the wrong button. Hold on. Well, that went to a different.
Oh, excellent. It went
to
somewhere.
A different screen. Okay, I'll drag. Okay, we're good. Continue.
Excellent.
What's next?
Learning Windows. Yeah, so we should actually be able to restart our server. I think you have to restart it because the front end's not built on Webpack or anything like that. That's actually hot reloading. So I've been stopping the server and starting it, but I might be incorrect on that. Windows on Mac, yes. It's the only way I can code.
And then I gotta.
Yeah, I guess Jason's saying you can just refresh the page.
Oh. Did my relative path not work?
So yes, I think you have to remove public because you're in this index. The HTML is already there, so you just remove the.
Do I need the slash? Or do I need dot this?
You know, I don't think so. I think both would work.
Let's see. Let's try Jason's.
But we're about to find.
Way of just refreshing.
There's only one way to find out.
Wait, do we need an event?
All right, so. Yeah, there it is. So what's going to happen here if someone stars a repo? So the way it works is it's going to load with the GIF first. So I think someone to start the repo. And every time someone stars a repo, that rocket is going to go.
So I should unstar it? Wait, Manovic, what are these emotes? Brian, do you know these faces? I don't understand all of the faces.
No,
What?
I think these are Twitch and plays. So you see we have multiple people starring, which is fabulous. I'm gonna give it a star too. See if I can get 3 rockets on the
This is
screen.
gonna be my most.
I think what's gonna
starred
happen
repo.
is the GIFs are gonna, because these are GIFs, they're gonna be basically
Stacked.
like pushed into
Yeah.
like a grid. Yeah.
Can we put this into the stream so you see it over your face or over my desktop?
Yes, we didn't even get to that far. Yeah, so if you take that 127.0.1 in the browser, you should be able to create a browser source in
Okay.
Streamlabs, and then you'll see rockets go over your face. Now, this is not the best code because you're going to see the GIF just like repeat
Endlessly?
over and over
Oh.
again. Yeah, I do have some code to actually make each GIF wait their turn. But we can get there once we get it actually on the
Arlemy
screen.
is late to the party, as always. Arlemy, here is the repo, Loop Delicious Sparkles, to star, and then we have better code.
What's the history of your name?
I
Loop
don't
Delicious.
have good stories for anything.
Or is that just
I
an
thought
extra?
it sounded like loop-de-loop, but like loop-de-word. I don't have a good story for it. Okay, so how do I add the source? Local sharing, add a new source?
Yeah, so add a new source. And this is browser source on the left under standard. And you should be able to drop in the
What
localhost. That's an existing
Oh.
source.
I did it wrong.
Oh,
I did it wrong. Hold on.
it is, I think.
How do I delete
Yeah. You should just be able to hit remove. Yeah, you can hit the delete button. Or actually, you can just go back to the chat box, double click it again. Since it's already created, you can just change that URL to localhost 3000.
Oops, wrong one.
Because that's pretty much what we want to do. Yeah, it's the.
Is it?
Actually, instead of localhost, can you use the 127.0.1? I think that OBS might not be able to see localhost, but they can see the IP.
What?
And then the other thing is,
Sorry. This is so...
yeah, did it just go? Oh, there it is.
Wait, can you see it on the
All right.
stream, though?
So right now yeah, so this is if this is what I see is what everybody else sees, you see this on the stream now.
Yeah. I'm so confused. I have so many windows open. Wow. Look at that. That's so cute.
Yeah, so this is going to loop because that's the way the GIF is running. But I do have some code. If you go to the upstream, I have a branch called GitTwitch. Sorry. Actually, this is where Slaybot comes in. So actually, Slaybot has a GitTwitch branch, and you'll see my code that basically has a
Slaybot
queue
is different than Baybot?
to make. Yes, Slaybot is like kind of like Baybot, but it slays.
Okay.
That's literally what's in the description. But it's my sort of place where I can test around with future interactions. I also take some PRs there too, as well as people explore. But if you went to the branch, which is called GitTwitch,
Okay.
you could see my last. So yeah, this is the working WebSocket. I should have created a PR for this, so that would be easier to view. Actually, let me, instead of having you navigate through all the randomness of commits, I'm going to create a real quick PR.
My.
And that way we can actually view it.
Look at this, folks. We're doing an actual PR so that we can consume it here on this live stream. You're a professional.
It's almost like I work at GitHub.
We've covered so much ground.
All right, so yeah, so if you go up to the PRs again, you'll see working WebSocket as a PR now, and we can actually I can walk through. If you wanted to take this to the next level and you just don't want the rocket to show up all the time, you could actually remove the rocket just using some basic JavaScript.
Oh no, Arlemy told me I replaced the chat source, so it's literally like none of the chat can be seen in this stream. It's the little rocket. Oh shoot, how do I undo that?
This is more important
How
than
do I
chat.
even undo that?
Unfortunately, with the OBS, you can't actually undo. You actually have to get the source, the link. So I don't know if they can Slack you it or something.
Okay.
To replace that back. My bad. I peer pressured you into into
That's super
replacing that.
cute though. We can have two chat boxes in the future. Like if I didn't want a robot, and this is what I think is really trippy. The first time you told me that that's how you did the pizza party, I was like, what? How do you do that? And how do you do the CSS to format it? It's literally an overlay, and that's why the title is the way it is. But I could have,
Yeah.
if I don't want this going over like my face or my desktop, I can have it zooming over people's chats and like, or like my face. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's a common interaction on Twitch where people will like if you like so we had a subscription that happened earlier. So when a subscription happens, like sometimes you'll just have the generic Streamlabs someone subscribed on the page, which that's what I have. And I'm trying to work my way out of that. I'm trying to quit. But things like the interactions on GitHub, you can actually have that on chat. If someone replies to the tweet, you can have that on chat. You're using I think you're using a Restream or something to coordinate between YouTube and all these other properties. Like that chat happens in a browser source, but you can also do some really like cool and clever things if people like are watching other YouTube videos on the channel, like be able to, if they like and reply to other videos. Yeah, so like the path is endless of what you can do with an API and a webhook and some browser sources. So this is like, we've just literally just scratched the surface. Like there's so many more advanced intermediate things that you can literally find a ton of other streamers that are doing some pretty cool things.
Help me put this back. I feel like people are chatting in the chat and no one can see it on the stream. They can see it in the thing, but they won't be able to see it in the so instead of chat box, this should have been added as a new source. So let's just do that one more time.
Yeah, it should have.
Delete this thing. Will that
yeah, you can remove it.
So let me update the source here. Hopefully that's not a secret. If it's a secret, let me just drag it. I have no idea what's a secret.
It's
actually,
technically,
it does have a token in there.
You're just receiving chat messages.
Is it back? Did I do it?
I'm going to refresh that one.
Refresh what?
I do see chat in the box now.
But I was like, why is that still going there? It's literally my screen.
Yes. So if we want to give that one more try and we actually create a new
source
chat. So I see Arlamine, their hello just came through.
Okay, so I add a source.
There we go. So add
a
source.
Source, and this is going to be
rocket. Got it.
Sparkles. Add source, and then put this here.
Excellent.
But this is only going to work if I have this running locally or if I hosted it on a cloud somewhere, right? Okay.
Yes.
Which is what you've done.
Yeah, so you could host it. Yeah, so I've got this hosted. You could actually host it on a code sandbox is what my test was that I did on Tuesday actually. And that works. But the beauty of this is that because you have no background color or anything like that, it's transparent. So other than the words that say just here sitting waiting for a WebSocket message, like we could delete that and then we would just see the rocket.
So this is how incredibly like confused I was. I was looking at my web page. So what I can do is just close the background, this or like minimize this and there. Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah, and then real quick, I just wanted to talk through the PR that I just opened up. This is because it's just JavaScript code and like try to keep it as simple as possible. I have the pull request that's open. You can go to the files changes or files changed. And what I've done here is I've added a couple files. So Comfy.js is something I added that actually I should have named that something different. But that script tag that we have, that's we have it on the index.html. It's sort of shoved into a script tag. Instead of doing just a simple console.log and then add the message in a list, I'm now adding this GIF alert. And I've set up like a little JavaScript function to take a message and a command and print that phrase with the user on the screen. So that's a little more complicated than what we went through. So that's where that is. And then if you scroll down to the index.js, that should be mostly the same. Actually, ignore all this because I deleted a lot of code that I was testing with OneGraph, which is why I didn't do a PR. Anyway, I have this working using a GraphQL subscription instead of a webhook. GraphQL subscriptions, or, well, if you know GraphQL, then you're familiar with subscriptions. If you don't, they're basically very similar to WebSockets. I think under the hood, they are WebSockets, but you could use GitHub's GraphQL API to also do this as well.
Cool.
So that's what all the deleted code is. But this is pretty much the base of it, which, again, I blindly opened up this PR not realizing that there was a lot of other context that was not needed there. What I was looking for is the queue, though. If you go back to the main entry point of the dashboard of your repo.
My repo. Okay.
The repo landing page. Sorry, of Slaybot.
There's too many things open right now. Slaybot. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And you click on this Q.js towards the bottom. This is the thing that I'm using to basically make the rockets wait. So right now we just have rockets. We have rockets that are disappearing, and at the moment the GIF is actually appearing repetitively. It's not actually being removed from the screen. So I use the Q.js to basically make them wait in line. So every time there's a star, it's just going to wait until the next star is off the screen. You could do something cool where you just actually have the number increment of, like, you have 100 stars per, like, on the stream, you have 100 stars. So, but because it's a web page, you can do whatever you want. So I think, actually, as I say it out loud, I think that's what I'm going to build in the future, is just have a star counter as opposed to just appear when someone does it. But this was also implemented from Daybot.
It'll appear when somebody does it, but there will also be, like, a number that displays.
Well, I don't have a number. What I was getting at is I was sort of doing some sprint planning out loud, that I think I would want to add a number, so that way the context of the people watching the stream could be like, what's that star number in the bottom? Why does that keep going up? So that would be the goal. Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to show was in the, it should be in the Comfy.js. There's going to be some other context that we didn't actually go through, but I am adding a GIF, and I'm using that new GIF alert.
Comfy.js?
Yeah, so Comfy.js. So that's because I'm using the Comfy.js library to talk to chat. So not as important to know that, but if you went to new GIF alert on line 44.
40? Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I'm doing to basically inject my GIF on the screen. So line 48, similar to what we had on your version of GitTwitch, I'm doing this. And I'm also deleting the GIF off the screen at the same time. So it's going to wait for 10 seconds, and then after 10 seconds, it removes the GIF.
Actually just turned my head to look at my other monitor and saw the rocket going aboard, and I got so confused. But then it would wait in a queue, and then it would just play when the event triggers it, and then it would be deleted immediately off.
Yeah. So it's just some pretty basic JavaScript that mostly I copy and pasted from Stack Overflow. So that's how this was written for the most part. But yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is that this is nothing but a web page. And if you know how to basically manipulate stuff with CSS and JavaScript, like my alerts that I showed you with the pizza, it just has a little bit of CSS that makes it sort of expand and contract with the CSS animation. But, like, it's endless. As long as you can get your design to make you rocket.
Do you want to go ahead and drop a link to Baybot, Slaybot, and GitTwitch? I think those are amazing, and it sounds like you're taking contributions, but also I'm just going to fork it and spin it up and customize it for Postman. I think that's really, really kind of neat, and you can make it as custom as you want if you know, just a little bit of CSS, I guess, which is always like a kind of a time suck for me, but...
Yeah. And if people want more context, I just want to remind you the Baybot has all the context. Everything that I struggled to explain just now is actually written out as like a blog post in the README. So it explains the sort of how everything works.
When are you going to write the, I guess, new blog post?
In the normal developer fashion, it'll get done when it's done. But soonish. I'm hoping the weekend will allow me to sit down and write this. If not, I will have the README updated for sure. 100% GitTwitch README will be updated.
I kind of want to go to side by side so we can close out, but I kind of want to leave it on these tiny, tiny screens because I love watching that rocket go up and zoom over my screen. So, look, okay, I'll go side by side just because I also want to see your face too, because your face is very small for me right now. Okay, so let's go back to side by side. So lots of cool projects. I feel like we learned a ton of tools. We looked at your repos. There's the Smee webhook. What else did we learn? The Codespaces.
Codespaces. We mentioned the CLI.
Yes, we never actually did the CLI
in passing, but we avoided it because it was for good reason. We avoided it. Yeah, we talked about we didn't really talk about the Twitch API, but the thing is that the Comfy.js does that for you, but we also didn't directly connect to that. But yeah, webhooks, secrets. We mentioned OctoKit. Yeah, just kind of honestly, this was a lot of information, and one. What was it, hour and a half?
That's a lot of information. And then also you were showing your open source, which I think is a really cute way to keep a to-do list or a watching list of things that you want to participate on too. Yeah, Arlemy, thanks for showing up. So we usually like to close out the stream with some community shout outs. So I feel like there's a lot of people that usually attend your stream that showed up to the Postman stream. So, I mean, is there anything else you want to shout them out? Are there any other things coming up on your horizon that you want to just give a quick shout out?
Yeah, so a shout out to Jason, Eric Davis, who's in the Twitch chat, who helped me out with a lot of these questions around WebSockets when I was learning it on stream. So I did a couple streams in preparation for this stream. So shout out to him for helping out with that, and Finance Singularity for being a great mod as well on my channel, who showed up here. And also I want to mention an event that I'm running on my stream, LinkedIn, which is we have a couple open source maintainers that are going to talk about how to contribute to the project, and we're going to have a couple open source contributors talking about their first time contributions. So we know Hacktoberfest is happening. The focus here is really just sharing stories and humanizing the interactions between open source and maintainers and contributors. So that's what that event's about. It's Open Source Contributor Summit. It's in 2 weeks. So definitely come through, join the Discord. You don't have to be on the stream to participate. There'll be a lot of stuff happening in the Discord as well.
That's really neat. Postman is just starting to, we have a ton of open source projects, but we don't have historically, we haven't been really on top of it. And we're trying to make our docs a little bit more friendly to be contributed to some of our other projects. So yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. From the Postman side, Matovic, we have our first subscriber. Didn't even know that could happen because of our settings, but thank you so much. So shout out to Matovic. I believe he's participated before, and I think he's won something. I forget exactly what he's won before, but
you just said more stickers.
Yeah, more stickers. And Brian, I feel like we had some issues with technical difficulties, but your face is crisp and clear right now, and so whatever is going on with your internet, it's completely crisp and clear right now. Thank you so much for talking us through that. And I know I was first time seeing a lot of these tools, so thank you very much for giving us the background on that.
Excellent. Yeah, I was happy to do this, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Postman streams.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.
See ya.